Black Wellness and Prosperity Center is a research-driven social enterprise, and we were founded specifically to make policies and programs more equitable and really founded to address the Black maternal child health crisis. The operational guidance for power sharing was developed in partnership with Black women over a period of about a year. And the purpose of this guidance is to serve as a practical tool that decision makers can use to understand how to share power with Black women, girls, birthing persons, and mothers in all decisions that impact them. The data on the experiences of Black women show us that there are stark differences in health outcomes, in disparities, and we also know that Black voices are not listened to. And in order for us to make impactful changes, we have to center the power around the person most impacted. I'd like to discuss a little bit about taking account, giving account, and being held to account too. In taking account, we want to ensure that Black voices are centered and lifted, and that they have an opportunity to make sure that their voice is heard and considered in all decisions. In giving account, we must provide information at all levels of the decision-making process, information about how and why a decision was made, and what the process is for being part of the decision-making process. We respect their right to high-quality care. We respect their right to have an opinion about the type of care that they are receiving, and we respect their right to have information about the services that impact them. In thinking about end-to-end participation, two key things, which is that Black perspectives are included in the content of a program or a policy, and that Black decision makers were part of the decision-making process. Part of the minimum standards checklist, we want to make sure that there is a plan in place to mitigate access barriers, and that the organization is actively working to ensure that they acknowledge that those bottlenecks exist and that they have a plan in place to remove those. And there needs to be accountability measures in place at both the individual and the systems level so that we really can work through when we identify low quality service, disrespectful care, care that is steeped in racism, that it is addressed. So the final part of the operational guidance is really understanding from really an organizational perspective what resources need to be in place. The first thing that's key is that as we are engaging the served population in the decision-making process, we want to also acknowledge that there is a gap that exists between the level of resources that institutions have versus the level of resources that individuals have. The second thing is we also need to make sure that we have a plan to build capacity in the community that we're serving. So that means building up individual leadership capacity. It means making sure that there is a plan to work with Black-led organizations or businesses to make sure they're included in the decision-making process. And then lastly, we really want to be mindful about what investments have been made and what resources are available so that we can achieve equity. This operational guidance needs to be formally adopted as part of the processes that they follow. It needs to be a formal accountability tool that is used to measure how equitable their process is for serving and sharing power with the community served. And so if this document is not formally adopted, it does not have the ability to hold individual decision makers or institutions accountable for the ways in which they engage with Black women, girls, birthing persons, and mothers.